It is championship weekend in Major League Lacrosse. Baltimore, Boston, Long Island, and Rochester are the Final Four, joined by attackman Mark Millon of the Boston Cannons, third in the league in both points and goals this year. And tell us a little bit about the format of this weekend here, Mark.
Well, Dave, thanks for having me on. We're here in Boston right now, and the first game's actually going on. Baltimore's playing Rochester this evening at 5 o'clock, and then we play Long Island tonight at 8 o'clock, and winners play Sunday at 1.
Give us the thumbnail scouting report on each one of the four teams.
Well, real quick, I mean, it's hard because there's so much talent in this league, but Baltimore probably has the best midfield. You know, they could be the favorite. They started the season 9-0. They're going to be tough. Rochester, who they're playing right now, is probably the toughest team in the league. They got off to a tough start this year, but have won like their last 6 in a row. They're pretty good. And our team, we are, you know, kind of probably the most well-balanced. Long Island, who we're playing tonight, probably has the best defense in the league collectively. That's what they say anyway, although our defense is pretty darn good too. Unfortunately, we've played Long Island 2 games in a row now, so tonight's game is going to be a little extra tough, a little extra physical probably.
Again, the championship game after these semifinals comes your way Sunday, 1 Eastern time on ESPN2. How's the crowd support been for Major League Lacrosse, Mark?
I think we're in our 5th year now, Dave, and crowd support's been increasing every year. Like I said, we're in Boston, and we're fortunate to have the best crowd in the league. We've been averaging, you know, 5,000 to 6,000 for every game, and I would think this weekend they'll be out in full force. And should we win on Sunday, expect probably the largest crowd in Major League Lacrosse history on Sunday.
Now, we've seen huge crowds for the NCAA Final Four. You were a great player at UMass. You know all about the support for college lacrosse. You're talking about crowds 4,000 or 5,000. Why don't you think we see the kinds of crowds you see for college lacrosse, where they're having 40,000, 50,000 for Final Four weekend? Well,
there's just so much more history in college lacrosse. You know, it's been around for a long time, and you know, there's just so many people who follow these teams. Major League Lacrosse, as I said, we're in our 5th year. It's going to take a little while. Everyone knew that. If we can get 5,000 people now, we feel like, you know, throughout the next couple of years, we can just keep building that.
Now, how does your year work? Is this a full-time job for you, or do you have to do something else to supplement your income?
Yeah, right now it's all in the summer. We play 12 games, and all the guys in the league pretty much do something else to supplement their income. I work for one of the lacrosse manufacturers called Warrior. There's just not enough income right now to just do it full time, but hopefully we're going to get there soon. So
that T-shirt there is not a coincidence. That wasn't just what you threw on today.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. So what's your job then? You say you work for them. What do you do? Are you an endorser? Do you do marketing? What do you do?
Yeah, I actually do a lot more than just endorsements. I work in the Mid-Atlantic area, and I do all the sales. So I call on the retail stores. I do all the marketing, all the promotions in that area. So I wear a bunch of different hats.
Can you envision a time in this country where a guy's going to be able to make a full-time living, not have to do something like that as a professional lacrosse player?
Yeah, I do, because, you know, I graduated in 1993, you know, 10, 11 years ago, whatever, 12 years ago, and, you know, I never thought in 10, 12 years we would be at the stage we're at now. And I just see with the growth of the sport, and, you know, Sports Illustrated did a big article on the sport's growing all over the country, especially on the West Coast. So if the trend continues and the sport continues to grow the way it is, I got to think in 10, 15 years, guys should be able to do this, you know, really for a living.
Now, what's the key? Because, you know, we saw this, certainly probably when you and I were growing up, we saw a lot of this with soccer, and the thought was that soccer would eventually take off, and it has to a certain extent, but, you know, not maybe to the level that people thought it would, certainly didn't with the North American Soccer League. If you look at lacrosse kind of in that same model as soccer, what do you think the key is going to be to expand it correctly the first time?
Well, I think the big key is going to try to make, you know, to make it affordable. I know soccer didn't really have this issue, but lacrosse, the equipment, you know, there's a lot of equipment you wear, and, you know, it can get a little bit expensive. So I think we're going to need to make it affordable. And then, you know, the governing body who runs lacrosse, U.S. Lacrosse, is going to need to do their part in making sure it's grown the right way, and hopefully, you know, we can continue to expand and not slow down.
Well, Mark, appreciate you taking the time out to shed a little light on this championship weekend. Again, the championship game Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. And, Mark, we hope to see you there.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.